Don't you feel like it's impossible to rank up without having a high level squad by your side? Or maybe you can't find actual good players to play with, but at the same time, you trying to reach that champion rank. I don't think you'd believe me if I told you you didn't need a special squad to reach champion, which is why today I'm gonna share 5 secret tips you can use so you can solo queue all the way from bronze to champion in Rainbow Six Siege. A common thing I don't hear enough people talking about is the effects of caring too much about the game, which is the first thing you gotta understand before you can start frequently ranking up on your own. The problem is when you care a lot about losing and decreasing your rank, you start trying to play too try hard, and when you start trying to play too try hard, you end up making more mistakes, because the harder you try, the more you die. That's something I always found common in my gameplays. When I would try to play the game too hard or try to play the game with too much high skill that I did not have, I end up dying too much. Of course, you want to try a little bit so that way you can actually like smoke folks and rank up, but don't get to a point to where you start finding yourself trying to do too much. For example, you might be trying to rush around and roam so that way you can kill all the enemies real quick. Whole time by you doing this, you end up getting smoked. And the reason why you can't die, because you might be the backbone to your whole team. If you die, everybody else die, because you might be the best one. But you go in there with that mindset, okay, so if I go in there and just smoke them all, get an ace real quick, then I'm gonna win. But that's not how it goes. Instead, you need to stay focused. Don't start trying to do things that you never do when you playing normally. Stay focused, stay calm, try not to miss shots, try not to make too many mistakes, because that's how you really start ranking up. A lot of pros who went to COD champs would tell me that their main strategy was not trying to play at their best, if that makes sense. The main thing they were focused on is not making as many mistakes as possible, because they say the less mistakes you make, the more likely you are to win, which is overall better than you just going in there trying to try hard and have the best aim. You gotta let the aim flow to you naturally. You try to have the best aim and it's not gonna work out. That goes for any game I've ever played. Every time I just try to hit as many bullets as possible, I end up missing more. But when I started to focus on realizing what was my mistake, why was I missing so many bullets, and then corrected it, I end up hitting more shots. Now you might be like, oh, this is all the same thing. You just saying the same thing. Maybe I am saying the same thing. It's just the way you look at things, your viewpoint. Another thing, when you care too much, you might start to get angry when you lose a game. You might start to get sad, upset, anything. And when you do this and go into the next game, you're gonna play horrible, because you're gonna start playing off of emotions. Bring me back to what I was just saying earlier. You're gonna start doing unusual things that's not common for you. So when you lose, just say to yourself, remember, it's just a game. There's a lot more to life than just playing this game. If you ever find a game making you too mad, you should just sit down and take a break. That could be 5 minutes, that could be 10 minutes, that could be an hour, however long you need. That way you can come back to the game with a clear mind and focus on what you're doing. Which brings me to the next tip. Only focus on you. Don't worry about what the teammates doing. Take a little glance at them, make a little bit of eye contact. That's it. Don't say nothing to them, unless of course you in game chat speaking to them. I'm only joking. But most times we end up dying because we too worried about where a teammate's standing, where they aiming, what they doing. We just too focused on them. So we not really focused on our mistakes or what we doing wrong. We don't see nothing wrong in what we doing, because we too busy looking at the wrong things that they doing. And then that's how you get smoked. You're unfocused. Because at the end of the day, you cannot control the teammate. They may miss like 5 bullets in a row. They may be roaming or doing something unusual. But the best thing you can do when this happens is do what you do. They making 1,000 mistakes, you try to make the least amount of mistakes, because you never know. The teammates might just start roaming, they all get smoked, and then you in a 1v5. Who knows, you could be that next clip that's on TikTok of you getting a full ace against some tryhards. But that hasn't happened because you too busy focused on what the teammate's doing. Even if the teammate looked better than you and he just roaming and is smoking everybody, still focus on you. Like, that's cool and all, but just continue to play your part. Like, you might see a teammate start roaming and get 3 kills, and you like, okay, he get 3 kills, I want 3 kills. Then you start roaming. Then next match, y'all both roaming, y'all both get smoked. Now that y'all got smoked, the team's chances of losing is very high. Now you lose the game, you get mad, you start playing off emotion, y'all lose the match. Now we sitting here wondering why we're hard stuck, when all we had to do was focus on us. So that way, even if you do lose, you can be like, all right, I did my part. I feel like we lost that game because the teammates. And this way you're gonna be more satisfied, hopefully. And then you can take whatever mistakes you made in the previous game and push it into the next game. You start adapting, which brings me to my next tip. You need to adapt to your enemies. Now, what do I mean by adapt to enemies? This means, say if you lose a 1 round, right? Figure out why you lost that round. How did you you end up dying? Was it because your aim was bad? Your positioning was off? The enemies just had overall better coordination than your team? What was it? Why did you lose? You need to figure out why you lost, and then you need to make sure that doesn't happen again. Oh, my aim was bad. I missed like 5 bullets on the enemy when I was in a gunfight. Start practicing, getting that better aim. Oh, their team was just so goodly positioned around the map to where they were just taking out all of our team. That means you need to figure out a way you can catch them off guard, somehow be one step ahead of them. See, if I didn't have no good players on my team and I was just the best one there, and everybody on the other team was just attacking us from like 400 different locations, I would probably try to not be inside sight. Now, this doesn't mean you do it. I'm just giving you an example. I would roam and not be in sight so that way I can probably catch the enemies off guard. So that way when I catch like 2 of them off guard, then like 3 more of them gonna look at me or look in my direction and try and focus on me, and now my team over there shoot them in the back, and then everything just start working out a lot more efficiently. So anytime you die, figure out why you died. If you ever watch any of my videos, you see me die in COD or Rainbow, you notice that I always say why I died. I might blame the teammates sometimes, but most times I try and look at what I did wrong. You always want to think deeply about the things you do in the game, which brings me to the next tip. You need to start thinking deep and thinking ahead. Now, what I mean by this is, for example, you on the defender's team, you pre-aiming and watching a location, and all the other teammates are looking somewhere else, which means they like watching your back or watching the flank, make sure everything is moving smooth. But the problem is you're not thinking of what you're going to do if someone who's watching the flank end up getting smoked. You think just because y'all positioned in a certain way, y'all unstoppable. But no, in your mind, you need to be playing out a scenario. Okay, if Billy dies, that means my back's open. If my back's open, then I could die too. I can't look away from this location because that's going to open another line of sight. So I need to position myself in a way where I can watch both of these sites. And now that you play that out in your head, you worry less because you feel like you got it all figured out. Or for example, you pre-aiming, and then you might start thinking, what if all my teammates died? What would I do if it was a 1v5 right now? Would I A, try and challenge each of them one-on-one and possibly get jumped? Or B, would I just try and hide somewhere and just listen to see if they gonna plant? And if they plant, that's why I pop out and try and fight them. See, this is what you gotta be thinking. You gotta be thinking, what would you do if so-and-so happened? Because most times we not thinking of that, then it actually happens. Now we get all nervous because it's like, oh, where did this come from? Now that we nervous, we can't focus, and we end up dying, losing the whole round, maybe the whole match. But when you think ahead, you feel more better. Now that you thought ahead, you'll be less hesitant and more confident in the way you play. Which brings me to the last and final thing you should know. You should be more confident in your gameplay. I just gave you one whole method right there on how to be more confident. But listen, man, when you're not confident, you're gonna hesitate to make plays. You're gonna hesitate to swing or challenge somebody when you should. And that's gonna make the fight go a whole different way when you don't do it, because you feel like you're not gonna hit all your shots. Let me tell you something. When I started to feel a lot more confident in how I played, I started to hit way more shots. Be honest, I'm being so for real right now. That's the key if you're struggling with your aim. Ask yourself, am I even confident in my gun game? If not, then you got a lot of work to do. You need to make sure you confident in every single play you do. If you gonna swing, swing. Full commit. If you're gonna attempt to go outside, get revealed just so you can pick up 3 easy kills, then do it. Full commit. Don't half do it. When you actually become a big general, you feel like your own boss. You feel like nobody can smoke you up, or if they do challenge you, they're gonna have a hard time killing you. You feel in full control of the game. And that's how you want to feel when playing Rainbow Six Siege. There should be never a moment where you just feel like, oh, okay, can I win this? It should be, I'm finna win this. He ain't smoked me, what's wrong with him? But honestly, that goes for most things in life. You gotta be a go-getter. You shouldn't feel nervous or hesitant to do something. But we only human, so of course you're gonna feel like that. But at those moments you do, you need to just fake it. Fake the confidence. Sure, I might feel nervous to swing this and take this gunfight, but I'm just finna do it and go full throttle. Because all I gotta do is start. Once I start, ain't no going back. What I'm gonna do, swing out, shoot him 3 times, and then run back to cover? It's too late, bro. He already in the gunfight with me. We in it. Come on, let's do it. And that mindset right there is what changed the way I started playing forever. I started to miss a lot more less bullets. It made me feel like whoever I challenged was finna get smoked. It didn't matter how good they was, because I was confident in my ability. I began ranking up more, winning more gunfights overall. I even got to a level to where I can explain how to get better to other people who's trying to improve, like I'm doing right now. All because I applied these tips. After this video, I guarantee if you take everything I just told you and sit down and really think about it and apply it to your own game, you will see improvements. Because if you're not making all these mistakes I have on this list, you're making at least one of them. And once you correct it, that could be the very thing that takes you all the way to champion without having no type of team, completely solo queue. If you would like to see more tips and tricks like this, subscribe to my channel so that way you can learn the best secret tips that no one else tells you. I guarantee no one else tells you this. 100% real and authentic. Or if you think you're not such a good player and would like to learn how to beat all these sweaty tryhards out here, click on this video right here.